All right, so we're live and on air. Once again, family, I want to thank my special guest for being with me today, brother Ankh Benu. We've had some technical difficulties, but we're just going to get right back in where we started. Once again, this brother is a spiritual teacher. He is a lecturer, author, just an all-around scholar and true and living, God man present on the earth. And so we're going to be talking about spiritual and divine fatherhood today. We're going to be talking about the essence of talking about, as Brother Man said earlier in our first attempt, we are in a situation where there's an assault against our very character as Black men. People are coming at us. They're trying to make it seem like we're deadbeat dads, like we're not in the place to be, like we're not in the mix, and it's just not true. In fact, statistics from major studies are showing that Black men are more likely to be involved with their children's lives, to include homework, diaper changing, playing catch, playing ball. And I'm going to add to that on my personal experience. I found that Black fathers are really especially good with their daughters. Of course, we have some bad apples in our crew, but the fact of the matter is Black men in America, we're the only ones that are judged by the bad apples. We try to make it seem like the few brothers that's tripping out here slinging dope or out here just small of our, that's not the essence of a Black man. We are more inclined to and are likened to the image of the Almighty. We come from a people where we use the concept of man God to govern ourselves. Just look at the emphasis in ancient Kemet. If you can go to West Africa, the concept of Oba, in South Africa, the concept of Muntu. These are man-God concepts. We are reaching our highest level of divinity within our cultural platforms and cosmology. So once again, welcome to the show. Thank you for being with me, my brother.
It's an honor to be here, Baba.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. So I'm going to start right back in. So my first question to you, my brother, is like, I'd like for you to give us some insights into the spiritual nature and essence of what it means to be a father and to be married. Let's start us off with the striking of that divine seed against the egg, man, and bring us on into the 20th century, with the knowledge, my brother. Come on with it.
Okay. Well, definitely, when you look at, the way that creation takes place in our cosmologies, not traditions, and for the most part, most traditions and cultures around the world, creation takes place through an act of differentiation. Coming from a state of undifferentiation to a state of differentiation, beginning first and foremost with duality, laying the foundation as the essence of what we call law of Ma'at. Okay, so duality, the dual.
My man, start back with foundation for me.
Can you hear me?
I could hear you, but I want you to start back with laying the foundation. You were saying laying the foundation. I lost you after that.
The expression of duality, okay, lays the foundation and becomes a foundation for what we call law or ma'at. Okay, so from this, creation begins to take place and further develop through the coupling of dual forces and the divine masculine and divine feminine forces of nature in their varying expressions. So once we get to the level of man, okay, of man, and when I say man, I mean male and female.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is also the way that the divine perpetuates its existence. We experience I say the qualities of Neter or the divine in a few ways. And in most instances when we talk about the qualities of Neter, it's this idea of immortality. Okay, the idea of being all knowing, okay, or having the potential to know all, okay. Like there's no limits to our experience, if you will. Now we don't necessarily experience every single thing at one time in an instant that we can be actual conscious of and process. However, working it out through space and time, okay, this takes place through our family, through the act of coming together and reproducing ourselves through our seeds.
Procreation.
Okay. Yes, sir. Procreation, and that's how we experience that immortality. That's one of the ways. Okay, not that the Ba isn't immortal, and we have other aspects of our being that carry on other existences, but that recycling, or what we call Wehem Ankh, repeating life. It happens greatly through our bloodline coming back through our family. So,
my brother, let me step in just for a second right there, because I want to translate for the people a little bit. So as you all can hear, Brother Ankh is very well versed. So the first term I want to clarify for the family, he used the word netter. In ancient Kemet, we refer to the Neteru as the gods. Now the word netter is like the origins of the word nature, you see. So what he's explaining to his family is that life, the coming together of life, is coming from the duality of man and woman coming together in the spirit of procreation, and it creates a divine spark and life. And I didn't hear the term that he used that described the perpetuation of life. You said it was, what was it called? It ended with the word Ankh.
Wehem Ankh.
Wehem Ankh. And as he said, Wehem Ankh, family, this is the perpetuation of life. This is a principle that's found in not only East Africa, but in West Africa as well. In West Africa, a lot of the names, if you hear the term Olu in front of someone's name, that means that whatever name comes after that, that means that person comes again. You see? So we understand the cycle and perpetuation of life. And so the key here, families, we have to get involved with fatherhood from a very intentional and procreative way, because it's part of our way of us amassing our power. And then the last thing he broke down, which I thought was key, he talked about the upper triad of our existence. He was talking about omnipresence, omnipotence, and omniscience. This is the triad. This is a part of your existence where you're capable of living in that realm of being from one time or another by exercising your omnipresence. You're just capable for you to move into a mind state to be all present here in life, totally here. Omnipotence, making use of all the power in your arsenal, and omniscience, making use of all of them. So once again, brother, thank you. I just want to clarify that for our listeners that may be novices in metaphysics. Go ahead and continue now, please.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, in our culture and tradition, and African culture and tradition, family is really the essence of it all. When we talk about our culture, we talk about our spirituality. I have a saying, African people really don't have a religion, and if you want to say we have a religion, family is that religion,
Yes.
And it's the oldest spiritual tradition or quote unquote religion in the world. And in our culture, the foundation of family first and foremost begins with marriage. And it is extremely important. It's a great thing. We're talking about the coming together of the divine masculine and feminine forces. Okay, we're talking about the joining together, the unification of ancestral bloodlines. We're talking about covenants. When two individuals get married, it's not simply those individuals get married, but all their relations. We're talking about contracts, okay, covenants, oaths between ancestral lines.
Yes,
okay, so there's a lot of power and invested in that undertaking. Okay, and with that, a matrix is created, a vehicle, if you will. Like the family let's say the term for marriage in the ancient Kemetic language, ancient, quote unquote Egyptian language, is gereg per. Okay, gereg per means to establish a house.
Yes.
Okay, and when the man and the woman come together and establish that house, okay, now a vehicle is created for those ancestors, okay, of each side to have a vehicle to come back through. That house becomes like a womb in and of itself. Okay, that's where right. those ancestors come in, okay, and they have a culture now, right? A social structure, if you will, that is able to shape and mold them in the in the culture, in the ways of that family and the society, and to provide them with an environment to help bring out of them what those gifts that are packed away in them, and help them learn what it is that they came to earth to learn through that particular bloodline. And this is it's one more thing that I want to say in terms of marriage. It's extremely important because when you hear a lot of people talking about initiations and things of that nature, marriage is a part of our initiation system or rites of passage.
Absolutely.
Okay, we start talking about first and foremost, there's men's standards and ideals that a man is to live up to, standards and ideals that a woman is to live up to in order to qualify themselves for marriage. And then once you're qualified for marriage, you've been deemed a man according to this culture, our cultural standards. You've been deemed a woman according to our cultural standards. Now you're qualified, for marriage. You're qualified to procreate. We can trust, okay, what's going to come through you, right? That is not going to be criminal, not going to be crazy, and that whatever comes through, that you're capable of rearing it, okay, of disciplining it, of getting it in order, okay, and that's very important. And then even so, for the man and the woman in the relationship, okay, there is no relationship that is as intimate and as close as a marriage.
That's right.
And the intimacy, the closeness, it creates a friction, so to speak. You see, where I always say no one will ever push your buttons, okay, like your spouse, okay, and they push buttons that you didn't even know you had, right? And that's a beautiful thing because they bring out of you, it brings to the surface what's in you. And in order to create harmony, to establish and maintain harmony in the relationship, you have to work on those things. You see, so this is an initiation process. When you're married, when you get married, you're going through an initiation where you are refining one another, and you're learning how to dance the divine dance.
Yes.
And you have to maintain the harmony and work on maintaining order so that it's a dance and not a wrestling match.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I love that, brother. And I also wanted to add to that what I was thinking about as you were putting that down is a marriage is also the initiation of a new divine bloodline. When these two powerful forces come together and there's agreement amongst the families, this is actually a diplomatic, resonance, but it's the development of a divine bloodline. And as you said, that house becomes a portalway or a vortex for this new bloodline that comes together when these families come together like this. And we should honor this process and situation. And you also said something too early that I thought was really key, that our culture is embedded in us. So as you were speaking to, after my mind, you know, came back to the continent that I live on, I thought about Booker T. Washington's teachings. Back in the day, he used to teach that, you know, in his case, he said the initiation for a man to even, you know, begin to make love was to have a house, to get a house in your possession, and then you're qualified to go out here and taking a woman out for a drive on Sunday and courting and things, because we have to establish that house. And that's a very big part of our culture. Heru means the house of Heru, you see? And so establishment of these houses, these divine spiritual houses. And then, you know, yeah, this is very important. And then last but not least, brother, Duau, for bringing up the idea and concept that marriage is in fact an initiation. It's part of the process of life, of moving towards your higher divinity. Even in Western religion, is or is not the first book of the Bible about a man and a woman in a garden. So very well stated, my brother. I knew this was going to be impactful, man. I want to thank you for, you know, coming on. So I want to move to my next question now. I was when I heard about you because a friend of mine was telling me that not only are you a proponent of plural marriage, or what they call polygamy or polygyny, he said that you pronounced it as a remedy. So I want you to get into how the concept of polygamy or polygyny can serve as a remedy for us accelerating our progress as African people.
Okay, like, you know, definitely, you know, I'm you know, not just a proponent, but, you know, I actually live the lifestyle. I have you know, 2 wives. You know, it's a major part of our culture. And you know, polygyny, okay, in particular, you know, when we talk about, you know, our culture, we talk about those things, you know, most of our you know, our roles, as far as gender roles, okay, that's the term I'm looking for. You know, in this day and time, you know, in the Western world, people look at, you know, many of our traditional gender roles, and they see it as something barbaric or archaic, or you know, third world, whatever, right? But you know, as African people, we take our cue from nature. Okay, first and foremost, our cue, right, from nature, and nature is the divine for us. You know, and you know, when we talk about many of the gender roles, they are actually literally expressed in our physiology, in our biology, in our anatomy. And you know, we are created differently as far as men and women go. You know, but our purposes align and complete one another. Okay, so when you look at a man, you know, specifically, you know, and I think you know, one of the questions regarding around husbandry.
That's
okay,
right.
You know, that is you know, in essence, you know, it speaks to the nature of a man. You know, we talking about, you know, a husbandman is a farmer. He's a man that you know, tills the soil and spreads the seed. Okay, you know, and of course maintain and takes care of that land to bring forth the crops and the harvest, the fruits of the earth. You know, when you look at a man, right, a male, okay, a man has the, you know, the ability, you know, first and foremost, with every orgasm, okay, it's billions of sperm, okay, released, okay, yeah, you know what I mean, you know, it's you know, that right there, it's husbandry. It's like, yo, when you're planting seeds, not all of them sprout, you got a few duds in there, you know what I mean? So you know what I mean, so it's spoken to there. But you know, when we look at the differences in the nature of a man and a woman. A man, you know, as long as he's you know, virile, you know, as long as he's healthy, you know, in his I say he has the capacity to, you know, impregnate, you know, several women, you know, pretty much is as you know, he could do, you know, impregnate several women all in one day, okay, if you wanted to, you know, it, you know, it's infinite almost, the potential there, to actually do so. And you know, that woman,
did I lose?
say it again, Baba.
See, it looks like I got your visual. How about audio? Let me hear you say something. You're back.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can. Yeah, you know how it is, brother. Whenever you start getting into the fruit, Babylon system crash, but I call Mr. You stopped just in time. You said a man can infinitely produce. Go ahead from there.
Okay, yeah. You know, now the woman that he impregnates can only be pregnant for that man for that one man, you know, during that cycle, okay, that 10-month cycle. You know, this is a testament of the nature of a woman. Okay, you know, she goes through a monthly cycle where there's certain periods where she's able to reproduce, and then there's periods where she's not, she's infertile, she's infertile. You know, in you know, Kemet, this is represented through the cycles of Heteru and Sekhmet. Okay, you know, when Heteru leaves, she turns into Sekhmet, and you know, Sekhmet brings the blood, you know, the bloodshed. Okay, and the blood, you know, that represents the menstrual cycle. But during that time period, it corresponds to the summertime, the summer solstice, where the land was hot and dry. Okay, and during that time period, you could not, you know, actually plant your seeds. Okay, but once the inundation or the flood came, Aket, okay, this was the return of Heteru and the waters of life and the fertility to the land with the flooding of the Nile. And you know, Heteru, she's also, you know, the you know, Hiwat Heru, she is the house of Heru. And in the tradition, it says that when Heru, representing the divine child, okay, the you know, it says that when he took up residence in his mother Auset's womb, her womb became the house of Heru, Het Heru. So when you look at the shape of Het Heru's face and you put it next to the shape of a cow's face, and then you put it up to an image of the uterus, you see that it's identical. Okay, and this is representing the nature of the womb and the nature of the woman. So she's you know, she reproduces in cycles, and her capacity to reproduce is cyclical. Okay, so these are the two differences. We're talking about something infinite, you know, joined in a matrix that regulates it by space and time.
Yes, indeed.
Right, and that is that. In essence, that's what life is. We are all infinite beings, and we're here to work out our, you know, and explore our infinite potential. Okay, actualize our infinite potential within a matrix of space and time, cycles of time. Okay, cycles of life, and you know, polygyny, you know, in particular, right? This is something where, you know, in our culture, we understand, you know, for us, you know, family, you know, really the measure of a man, the measure of a woman is his family. Okay, we're talking about, you know, how we, what we call wealth or consider wealth. Okay, you know, it's not, you know, trinkets, it's not money, quote unquote. Okay, people are our greatest resource. Okay, and not on those, slave stuff. Okay, you know what I mean? Commodities and whatnot. No, people are our greatest resource. Okay, and children in particular. Okay, we're in the business of making people.
That's
right.
right.
Of our culture is all about bringing out the inner divinity, actualizing it into the world, and reproducing and creating children. Okay, is simply another expression avenue of doing so. So the more of Neter that we can bring in the world, the better. Okay, and that is in essence, what polygyny is about. It's about nation building and maintaining the nation and growing your bloodline, your actual bloodline into a nation. Okay, this can only happen through reproduction, and as far as a remedy, right? Because I think that's the question that you asked, how it could be a remedy. It is something that our people, this is something where because I get a call all the time, right? I get called from this brother, that brother, some random brother, you know what I mean? It might hit me out of the blue and ask me, about polygyny, and I never recommend it outside of the culture.
That's right.
Okay, it's important that we remember who we are, and that we grab hold to our culture and live our culture, so that the practice is organic. We don't want to isolate it and turn it into a pharmaceutical, a drug, okay, that has very, very harmful side effects. So within the confines of the culture, it is absolutely a remedy, because for our people, right, we talking about building a nation. Okay, how you say, African culture is different from, let's say, Western religion and things of that nature, where you're going out trying to proselytize and recruit people to join on to your to your cause, or join on to your belief, etc. so on. There's no proselytization in our culture, in our traditions. Like, this is all about fans. Yeah. So I want to say it's the ancestor Frederick Douglass that said that it is easier to grow strong children than to repair broken men. Okay, even as an author, even as a teacher, I know for a fact that as far as getting people and convincing people, it's hit or miss, with the words, with the talk. But with the shorties, okay, with the crowd, right, with the babies, okay. Once this child comes into the world, right, I'm placed into the seat of kunum in our tradition, okay, where this child is like fine clay on a potter's wheel, where I've been gifted by the by the ancestors to shape and mold their personas, their minds, okay, to help them become the type of Africans that our people need in order to elevate from the condition that we're currently in. And the surest way to produce those types of Africans is through reproduction, not through preaching, not through proselytization. It's through bringing forth these Africans from our womb, from our loins, and raising them up. And like I say, the more the better.
Sure, and then understand how we ran ourselves and ran our. The fact of the matter is, like, the height of when we practice of polygyny was in place. That's how we rolled. And so we, when are we going to stop acting like there's some advantage to being the descendants of a slave or chattel slavery system, or acting like the current model that they've built, which is designed to limit our families from accelerating at a faster rate. Man, you make a really good point there. Also, too, I want to just back up. You said something else that struck me as wise, which is the number of adults in the house. I mean, most of the things that you hear, quote unquote, single moms. I'm not a supporter of that concept of single mom. I think a village raises a child no matter what. It's a broken village or not, a village is raising a child. But when you have multiple adults in the house, in the rearing of the children, committed to that, it's the same as the extended family concept. If grandma and grandpa are in the house, if there's another wife in the house, you know, an uncle, you know, these things perpetuate the adult impact that children have. It's a village impact. So very well stated, man. I'm thankful for you to share that level of enlightenment, and also the fact that, you know, you're living it. You're not just talking about it. You'll be about it. So, and I'm also too, I want to say happy Father's Day to you. I don't really get off into European holidays all that tough, but I always find a way to work with this particular holiday to, like I said, I'm simulcasting this project right around Father's Day, because this is one of the rare times where we get any inkling of respect as being Father's Day, right? So I'm trying to get back on that. So with that being said, I wanted to ask you, how do you deal with some of the stigmatisms and some of the assaults that I'm sure that you receive from people from returning to our tradition of polygyny and culture and accelerating, you know, family development and growth and wealth building?
Okay, yes, sir. And, you know, happy Father's Day to you as well, Baba. You know what I mean? I appreciate that. You know, it was more so an issue, you know, at the offset. Then you hit that, you know, you hit your stride. Okay, after a while, and you know, it's just like breathing. But you know, for me, you know, I've always been you know, someone that, you know, once I set my mind on doing something, you know, it's nothing is going to, you know, nothing's going to get in the way of you know, the actualization, the realization of you know, whatever that is. So, you know, I've never really concerned myself so much with like a lot of the outside noise. Okay, the outside noise. But as far as, you know, being a father and a husband, you know, it's my job to be a protector. Okay, it's my job to you know, make sure that, okay, when, you know, people, let's say someone might be spitting venom, okay, or trying to plant weeds, sow weeds into the family through, okay, maybe they might say something to one of my wives, or, you know, they might say something to you know, say something around the children or something like that. And, you know, though, you know, me personally, I may be unaffected by it directly, but indirectly, it's like, yo, okay, you know, I have to also protect and maintain order in the house. So, you know, the main thing is, I always say, your culture, right? Our culture is our greatest life support. You know, I want to say it's Mama Marimba Ani that says that you know, people's culture is their immune system. Okay, this is very, very, very true. Our culture, it equips us, right, with the tools to solve whatever problems we may face. And when we face difficult times, you know, it's not for us to, you know, curse or to you know, to run or duck and hide, but to grab hold to and stand on our culture. So, you know, one of the biggest things for me is to keep the family focused and to reinforce the culture and you know, to I say we have great tools in our traditions. You know, our ancestors, like for us, you know, our ancestors are our standard bearers. Our ancestors, they are our ideals and our aspirations, the Neteru, okay, or you know, the divine forces of nature, right? That we personified in our stories and our cosmologies. You know, like we don't strive to be like this rapper or this actor or this politician. You know, we're striving to be Neter. I say, as a man, I'm striving to be Heru, and when I become an ancestor, I want to rule from the spirit world like Osir. You know, as a teacher, I'm aspiring to be Tahuti and Anpu, and you know, as a warrior, Heru the Elder, Muntu. Okay, like this is what we are striving for. You know, the women in the family, they are striving to be offset, you know, as the ideal woman, you know, to be a queen, to be a goddess, right? This is what our aspirations are, and keeping everybody focused on our goal, which is the lay the strong culture in the family, bring more children in the family, and then expand and grow the family organically to a nation over time. That's our goal and objective. So keeping and maintaining the focus, and when the focus is lost, or there's some static, or there's some interference, being able to grab hold to our culture, to go to the ancestor shrine, to do divination. Okay, go to the oracle and do divination to get word and to get medicine, to get a remedy from the ancestors and the spirit to reestablish order. This has been the greatest tool, the greatest problem solver, the greatest protector for our family. And I can
let me ask you this right here. So you're saying that I love that. Did I clear you correctly that you're saying divination is a tool that you use for leadership and direction at times? Yes, that's powerful. So has there ever been a situation where you had not so much a dispute, but just a discussion about the direction the family's going to head in, and as opposed to arguing out, you go to divination, huh?
Yes, I say exactly. Both of my marriages, okay. My relationship with my wife Marie, my relationship with my wife Warit, are governed by the Neter Tahuti, who is the force that governs divination. When we use oracles, he's the force that, especially the high oracles, he's the force that we engage and communicate with through the oracle. So some of his names, one of his names, for instance, is Sequedet Ra and Wiya, the navigator and guide of Ra in his boat as he travels. So he guides and navigates for the creator. Wapiti and Ra, the messenger of Ra. Okay, and the Nechwoti, the advisor to the one Lord. So it's like, our cosmologies are beautiful because they depict it in a way to where, like, even the creator has an advisor, even the creator has a guide. Okay, even the creator, has someone that gets advice from and learns from. So in turn, it teaches us that our egos can't be so big to think that we got it figured out and that we don't need to tap into that aspect of creation. Okay, that intelligence that is responsible for all of this beauty that we exist within. We can tap into that and to receive answers for our life. There's issues that we face, that precise mathematical intelligence that's present in nature can bring the same precision and synchronicity into our lives if we tap into it. So definitely, you know, because, you know, we're married under that force, divination is very, very prevalent. You know, we make an oath that when we face problems, we're not to let our personal emotions, you know, or personal desires, you know, take precedent over what's in the best interest of the collective. And if we're not sure what the best interest of the collective is, okay, this one says it's that one, I says this, and that one says, you know, something else, then we take it to the oracle, we take it to Tahuti, and Tahuti lets us know what it is indeed. And we've given our word to Tahuti, we've given our word to the ancestors that that is what we're going to actually carry out, those orders that come directly from the divine in those situations. So, you know, as long as everybody sticks to that script, I say we'll never lose. We're gonna be here forever.
Absolutely. Ashe, man, I appreciate you for sharing that. Now, on that same note, Mama D and I have been really talking a lot about it was the conversation was spurned from a friend of ours in Detroit. They had a council of elders that just recently disbanded. But we have quite often said that there's a necessity to have a council of elders as well to go to. But of course, you eloquently stated earlier, everyone on that council should be initiated into our culture so that we're getting a cultural wisdom interjection. So give me some of your insights and thoughts on how we could develop fathers that will grow to be wise enough and intelligent enough to develop this council of elders so that we can continue to add another layer of support to our marriages, to our family, and to our progress as a people.
Yeah. Okay. I say, you know, excellent question. You know, there's I notice often that you know, sometimes in the, let's say, in what's called the conscious community, right? You have a lot of different perspectives, a lot of different ideas, a lot of different cultures within, you know, and traditions within the conscious community. And you know, when a problem breaks out, you know, they'll try to how you say, bootleg a council of elders together. And it never works because there's no connection between the individuals that have the problem and the elders that are coming into the situation. So, you know, the thing that you mentioned is very key. You know, community. Okay, and having a community that consists of a people, families, okay, that actually share a common culture. And, you know, this is so critical because, you know, without that, we pretty much just, you know, we pretty much just, you know, shooting blanks. But, you know, that common culture within the community also gives us a set of common standards and ideals, okay, and aspirations. And, you know, the elders that come up within those families, they form the council, the jajat, as we would say in Madulater, okay, in ancient Kemet, we would say jajat, that council of judges, okay, or tribunal that is responsible for, you know, establishing the law and maintaining the law in the community, for making sure that the community and the goals and aspirations of the community, that the community is constantly moving towards the fulfillment of those goals. And you know, when there's problems, when there's kananu, there's confusion and turmoil that breaks out in the community, then, you know, we have this council of elders that are connected organically to the people in the community, because this is the family, and there's alliances between families that make this thing actually real. See, you know, we've begin to go about things in an inorganic way. And until we, until we approach them in an organic way at the foundation, dealing with families and culture and establishing a common unity, okay, a community based on a common culture and familial ties and alliances, okay, we shooting blanks. But once we do it that way, though, okay, then yeah, it'll be very, very critical. Yeah, having a council, a men's society, okay, where fathers, a council of fathers, okay, come together and raise up the men, the young boys in the families to become standard bearing Africans. Okay, this is the value is immeasurable. And the same can be said for the women and the mothers in the women's society, and raising the the girls up to be standard bearing African women, right? This is what's needed for our people to actually survive going forward. That's how critical it is. This is our survival depends on it.
That's right. Our survival and our thrival depends on it. Very well said, my brother. Yeah, and I look forward to the day and time when we progress to that point, because I do see the inevitability of us moving to that point based on conversations we're having right now, and based on the understanding that you and I both seem to be keepers of the idea that will be done on earth as it is in our minds. So just as sure as you and I are discussing this most relevant progressive change, it will take place. I am sure of that. My brother, I could go on and on and on, but in the spirit of time and putting the encapsulation on this thing, I just want to just take a moment here, man, to thank you for all your insights. You're right. That Council of Elders, man, that one right there is a fixer. When you were speaking, I just thought about several marriages in my past with if I had used divination, to the tool of divination more than I did, and and then a lot of times, because marriage has become such a foreign entity inside of our relations here in America as African Americans, because like I said, 72% of our children are born out of so-called wedlock. So I could have used the Council of Elders several times to solve some of the disputes that I faced in the past. So I look forward to continue to fortify myself with cultural understanding, and to not only the understanding and understanding, but to get into the practice of. So I salute you, my brother, for stepping into a more accurate and realistic portrayal of our culture. I thank you for sharing, because I can understand and respect the fact that to maintain your family's focus, a lot of times that comes from keeping your family, protected from all the naysayers and all those people who are just dedicated to being assimilating into American society as if there's something great or fantastic about this. To my estimation, there's never been any good old days in America. Not for blacks, right, not for whites, not for brown man, not for the red man. Ain't been no good old days for nobody up in here. It's a travesty against justice. It's not culture, it's an unculture. And we have to be careful not to parade to promote America as if there's something great about it, because it's a death trap. So once again, brother, thank you for your insights. Thank you for your wisdom. I'm going to be reaching out to talk with you again, because you're everything. You're all that in a bag of chips. You're everything that all the brothers that shared with me of your knowledge and wisdom. It's even more magnanimous than I thought. So I'm trying to get you to agree right now on air for us to get together again and do this soon. Can I hear it? Can I hear it?
Absolutely, Baba. Dwada, it'd be an honor to be back on here. Just let me know. You got me.
Absolutely. So before we go, I want you to share with me. I know you have a few online classes and you promote some trips. So I want you to use this time now. Give the folks some information about what exactly the work you're doing, especially about those trips and some upcoming classes, if you have any.
Okay. Definitely. Once again, dua to you, BabaKenAmen, for you and your beautiful queen, Mama D, for the opportunity to come on your illustrious platform, and to the African family out there, my Ren, my name is Ankh Benu, Yonku Benu Sabenu, better known as Ankh Benu. I am the Nisubiti King Hamleter Tupi, chief priest of Henin Su. And you can find out more about my work at www.heninsu.com. I've written and published 3 books to date. I got about 4 more in the works right now, and all pertaining to our culture, and doing my part to help bring our people, back to the place where we need to be. And so that's you'll find information about that on heninsu.com. That's www.henensu.com. And also, as Baba Kim was saying, every year, my family and I, we lead pilgrimage to the Nile Valley, to Kemet and Nubia, to quote unquote Egypt and the Sudan. Every actually getting ready to go, next month, July 19th through August the 1st for, the Kemet portion, and then August the 1st through August the 8th for the Sudan portion. So, this is going to be a big, very big trip. But, for more information on that, it's really the experience of a lifetime. Even if I told you every single detail, it'd be very difficult for you to imagine just how impactful and life-changing the experience this experience is. And we actually, one of the things about our pilgrimage to Kemet and Nubia is we actually live in the Nubian village in Aswan, Nubia. And we stay there for several nights and actually spend time with the Nubian elders and the diviners there, and learn the traditions that they've retained since ancient times. Okay, so I say it's not just talking about Kemet, but actually sitting with some of the the elders that are related to those people that still stay there, and learning the traditions and practices from them, grabbing hold to them, because they have to go about it a certain way, because Islam and the Western religions very greatly dominate the region, but they've retained a lot of those African traditions and practices. So we go there and we sit with them and learn from them. They're very gracious and they break bread with us. So it's a very beautiful thing. So that's called the Kemet tour. That particular trip, the Kemet tour.
Can you spell that for us, family?
KHU KHEM KEMET.
Okay, so they can find it online. Family, I'm going to put all this information out on the line and make sure everybody gets connected, because like I said, there's a lot of trips that kind of focus on the pyramids only, but for this brother to be taking you down into the Sudan, what we know as Aksum, there are so many artifacts out there in the sand in the Sudan, and this is a very true picture of our ancient time, because unlike up there by the pyramids, the Arabs haven't drowned a lot of the artifacts. Lake Nasser up in the upper part of the Nile, there's an incredible wealth of our civilizational history drowned by a man-made lake. But in the Sudan, it's right there for you. So, brother, man, I didn't know that part of it. So, man, big up on that, man. I'm interested in this year is a little bit too close for him, but next year I'll be on board of that trip. Thank you for sharing that. And last but not least, do you have any classes going right now? Any classes coming up?
Well, yeah, actually, I'm currently working on, well, let's say as far as Henisu goes, anybody that's interested in participating in the classes that I teach You know, Nisu is our collective, our family. It's an international collective. So when you go to the website, you be able to learn more about it and sign up on the website. And you know, as far as membership, and you know, membership grants you the ability to participate in the classes. You'll find information on that as well. But I do a lot of teaching online, different platforms. You can find you know, Ku Kim Radio. That's a podcast that I've done, have over 100 episodes. You know, I'm actually getting ready to do a series on Nile Valley culture and spiritual traditions on the BB Tumi Casa. That is the website of you know, the good brother Dr. Obadele Cambone.
Okay.
You know, getting ready to do a series over there, and you know, definitely I encourage all of the African family, you know, worldwide, to go and check out bbtumi.com. That's ABIBITUMI.com. You know, it's a Black social media network that focuses on putting out the information that our people need in order to elevate. So you know, very good platform. And you know, we're getting ready to do something over there soon. So definitely I'll keep you abreast to that, Baba. And you know, yeah, just type in my name, Ankh Benu, AANKH BENU. Type that in on YouTube, and you'll see several videos.
Abracadabra, like magic. You're gonna episode after episode after episode. Yes, I. So once again,
Yes,
family, my cup runneth over. My brain is almost hemorrhaging. This brother dropped so much knowledge today. I hope you enjoyed the broadcast, because I didn't like it. I loved it. I didn't like it. I loved it. I'm so thankful to be operating in the higher realms of my consciousness, of my being and my spirit. I'm so thankful to have this brother on the line today. I'm so thankful for my chakras to be buzzing up and down and spinning out of control, because that's what it's about, y'all. Elevation and ascension. Lest ye forget, we are the gods of the earth. Our woman is the goddess of the earth. We must reclaim our proper place so that the earth can be guided back into its proper rotation and proper direction. Don't take this for granted. Supreme knowledge, supreme culture, supreme understanding, overstanding, and understanding is your birthright. This is what we came to do. This broadcast is going to constantly be bringing it just like this every time. Until next time, family, shalom, salam, you know, hetepu. I come in the spirit of peace, knowledge, wisdom, and overstanding. And I hope that you feel the same way too, because that's what it's about. We got to come together in the spirit of y'all. And in conclusion, I just want to remind you that the main emphasis of this podcast today and the purpose of it, yo, let's get married, y'all. Let's get married, remarried. Let's put ourselves in the holy matrimony and put ourselves in the holy covenant with not only our spouses and loved ones, but with the Almighty as well. The more we create a more divine and perfect union with the Almighty and ourselves, the closer we get to this becoming heaven on earth again. Okay? This is what's possible. This is what's happening. Until next time, Benu. Yes, my brother. To be continued, King, man. To be continued.
All right, Baba Dua. Thank you once again. Sinepti, be well.
Yes, I.